welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video we're going to look on more how to create very fun animations. And today we're going to look on a cutout animations, and you don't need very fancy equipment to do all this stuff. What we're going to use today, it's our cell phone and piece of papers that you can very easy to cut out. See, like right here, a lot of teeny tiny pieces you can cut out. You don't need to have it very complex characters. Of course, you can go online and find some like free printing of cut out characters. You can do this. You can also go and can drawing your own character. Well, beside your characters and other things what I would recommend for you to have it. And if you're using cell phone, I would recommend to get application. It's a special program, and this is called stop motion, and they have two versions. They have it free, which you always can use it, it's fun and nice, or you can pay about $5 and get it everything. You don't need to purchase. The free application work just fine. Other things what also I'm using here, and this is may help you if you decide to do a little bit more complex ones. It is, you probably want set pair of tweezers. It will help take those teeny tiny elements and move them around. See how big my fingers, they're big and fat. Other things, you can always have it additional elements, like I'm just using the notepad, the pen to draw, and scissors. It's all what I was using to create my character. Want to have it something to hold your phone steady. You can actually take cardboard, cut and put it in this. But I won't just use it this stand for my cell phone. For that, we'll go and take our cell phone and we'll just place it right here, like this. There you go. And now what we're going to do, it is reposition ourselves. So this is our head. You see why we want to use this tweezers. So we'll go put it first right there. Come on, move. There you go. Let's bring some arms and hands. And here's kind of things you want to use it a different type of backgrounds. I'm using just piece of paper, but what is the best work for this? It's kind of a fuzzy type of the paper they sell in craft store. Yeah. So when we go right here, we have an image. Let's go click photo. So we take it one shot. And next we can readjust, and as we're readjusting, let's move the hand a little bit up, like a little bit right here, and we take another shot. And that becomes the fun part, when you spend hours and hours just move a little bit. And if you're enjoying to do this and want to take this on the next level, the other things what I recommend for you to do is get a software they call Dragon Frame, and this is a very good software. It's on a professional level, allows you to do much more complex control over the frames when you create your animations. And of course for this you maybe want to go ahead and get a little bit more sophisticated camera, but again this will require some investment from your part, and I think just begin with the simple animations will do a justice to understand if you like to do this. Well, I hope you like these teeny tiny sessions, and I think it is time for us to see how professionals draw in creating characters. So it will teach you how you can create your own character with drawings. And today, let's see what we have today. We have a lot of different images, yes? I think we're going to do today this Donald Duck. Okay, so we'll go look in the sessions how we can draw Donald Duck, and of course instructors for this will be the best artists to have it in a Disneyland Resort. If you're going to Drawing Academy, they have special sessions there. So and this is what we're going to visit now.
Now this is a rough sketching class, no erasers allowed. When we start to draw a character, we start with a basic shape and then we draw very, very lightly, okay? No eraser. So draw lightly until you're sure you've got what you want. And you'll hear me say, let's lock in this line or shape. And by the end of it, you're going to have a wonderful drawing, in this case, of a character who's sitting right there in the third row. Donald Fauntleroy Duck.
He's looking how adorable.
You, dude! The dude had your head there. We're going to draw him. But I'm going to draw him looking a little bit happier. And we're going to draw him with a different hat since it's Santa Claus season. Let's draw him with a Santa Claus hat, okay? Everybody put your hand up like this and lock your wrist and elbow. Let your shoulder roll around. And you're going to get a nice smooth circle. And I'm going to go right to, see that little belly button? That's the middle of my page. And that is where I'm going to put this circle. You can see that that circle is maybe a little bit closer to the top of my very messy circle here. This is why I drew in about 7 or 8 circles, because as you can well see, I cannot draw perfect circles or squares or nothing. But by doing this, I can pick and choose the lines that look good and build on those. Now we're going to put a line right through the middle, going from top to bottom. Draw this very, very lightly, and moms and dads, please help the kids if they need help with anything, okay? Be there for them, trust me. And we're going to put another guideline. It's going to go across, but it's not going to go right through the middle, which would be right here. It's going to go more like a quarter of the way up from the bottom. So I'd say that's right about here. Now we're going to draw the corners of his smile. He's been a very good duck this year. You know, he's expecting lots of gifts. And so we're going to draw this little hook kind of right here up against the side of our circle, going out like that on that side, and then one going out this way. Here. It's kind of a letter C curve there. Okay? Those are going to be the corners of his smile. Underneath those, I'm going to put a little tick mark, a little dot that's kind of even with the bottom of my circle, and then bring a line from one end to the other, just like this, shaving off just a little bit of the bottom of my circle, too. This is all looking pretty good. Now I'm going to turn these C curves into S curves. Watch this. I'm going to turn this one. Bring it down. There's the end of his upper bill right there. An S curve, and then backwards S right over here. That looks pretty even, Steven, on both sides. So I'm going to go ahead and lock these things in now. This is all looking pretty good. So I'm just going to go over these lines, build them up, darken them in, give them a nice bold outline like a coloring book. That's really, really important. And I'll go ahead and go from here to there. I'll tell you a little bit about Donald Fauntleroy Duck, for that is his middle name. We found that out because he was a good American during World War II, served in the U.S. Army, and we saw his draft notice in an old cartoon called Donald Gets Drafted. And it said, Donald Fauntleroy Duck is to report for duty. So you know that's his middle name. Let's go ahead and draw a curve just like this one here, this little hill, right underneath this line. Okay, so right there. This is going to show that his bill has some thickness to it. Okay? And since that smile is going to be so big, I'm going to give him these little single line, they're very small, right at the tops of the corners of his smile. And what this is it shows that his smile is big and it's pushing up his little ducky cheeks there. You'll see this on a lot of Disney characters. In fact, his cheeks are just going to wrap around that like this, okay? Just a big upside down letter U. They stop right when they touch this line right here. Okay, let's do that over here too. There we go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and lock those cheeks on in. Donald was born a long time ago, 1934, in a cartoon that was not necessarily a Donald Duck cartoon. It was called The Wise Little Hen. He was one of several characters in that film, but he was the one out of all of them that stood out the most. And that had a lot to do with the wonderful man who was his voice. His name was Clarence Nash. In fact, he got to be so popular for being the voice of Donald Duck that they started calling him Ducky Nash. I'm going to open up his mouth into a big happy smile by coming over here to the side of his cheek and bringing down 2 diagonal lines like this, and then joining them gracefully together there at the bottom. Okay, so from this to there, and from there to there, just like that. Now I'm going to add, we're going to follow the studied line. Now that means that in art class, if your teacher tells you follow the studied line, they're telling you to look at this thing that you just drew and draw it again. And in our case, it's going to be a little bit higher. And that's going to give him a lower lip. There we go. That looks pretty good. He looks pretty happy. And he should be. He's got a lot of great pals. He is in a wonderful relationship with a beautiful duck named Daisy. He was also very, very popular in comic books. Back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, Walt Disney comics and stories were so popular, and a man named Carl Barks was a great artist that worked for Walt Disney as an animator for a while, and then became the guy that drew all of these amazing comic books starring Donald Duck and his family. Look at this family, right? All of these ducks in Duckburg were created by Carl Barks. And Donald is, there's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. There's Uncle Scrooge. Donald's in there somewhere. I'm not quite sure. They do bear a striking resemblance to each other. Well, you know. Let's go ahead and draw in his tongue. Right here, using that center guideline, I'm just going to bring out a very small letter B with curved sides. There we go. All right. Everybody doing good so far? I'd say we're getting real close to the halfway point here. But we got to draw his great big expressive eyes next. And they are going to be sitting on this line here. We call that the eye line for that very reason. And there's going to be a little bit of a bump in between them. So on this line, right in the middle, I'm just going to draw this little bump here with a lot of space on either side of it, you know, between it and those cheeks. And then I'm going to do the Incredicoaster thing and go down a hill and go up a hill and go down a hill and go up a hill, just like that. All right, there we go. Let's get that locked on in. Now in these little pockets that we just created here and here, we're going to put his great big eyes, very, very expressive. That's because the eyes are always the most important feature on any character. They'll tell you so much more about a character than even the voice can in a lot of cases. And so, here's a big goose egg, or maybe a baby dinosaur egg. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead now. Look at the distance between that and that center guideline. That means this one has to be just as wide and just as far from that center guideline to keep things nice and even. There we are. Let's go ahead and get those locked in. And then we'll draw in his pupils. There we go. Wonderful. All right. And he was also, at one time, this is something that really surprises people, one time, Donald Duck was more popular than Mickey Mouse. Theater owners and the public in general demanded more Donald Duck cartoons than Mickey Mouse cartoons. He was just so relatable, that's why, and that's what Walt Disney had to say about him. He said, well, Mickey Mouse is who we all want to be, very cheerful and happy-go-lucky, but Donald Duck is who we really are. So it made perfect sense to Walt. There we go. All righty. Now, the pupils are going to be basically the same shape, but a bit smaller. And right here, kind of towards the bottom of that big eye, and right on the inside. And you'll notice that I am drawing a complete oval here, okay? Not just drawing a half a circle. He'll look cross-eyed, so don't do that. Draw in that whole oval. He looks like he just got a wonderful gift. He's super excited about it. Maybe it's a new toy train. He does love toy trains. Something that I think he inherited from his creator, Mr. Disney, because Walt loved toy trains too. There we are. Okie doke. Now we're going to give him some eyebrows. Remember what I told you about following the studied line down here? Look at this one. Let's follow it. Candy cane. Right over that eye, just in time for Christmas. There we go. And a candy cane over here too. There we go. Lightly at first, and then lock that on in. Alrighty. Now, he has a little tuft of hair on top of his head, so I'm going to draw in a little shark fin coming up, a little shark fin coming sideways, and then one kind of pointing downwards here. We do put this little tuft of hair on a lot of our characters. In fact, one of our new characters from the movie Wish, Valentino, he's a goat. We also give him a little version of that too. Okay, cheeks, they need a little bit more bone structure. So I'm just going to put a little curve above each one to show a little feathery fluff. And then lock in the sides of his face. I'll just choose a line from my original circle lines and lock those in. Now I promised that we would have that Sandy Claus hat. It's not Jack Skellington promise. Let's go ahead and start on the sides of those brows and put up C curves or parentheses right here on both sides, just like that. And then join those together, from one end to the other. That's going to be that furry brim to his Santa Claus hat. There we go. And we'll do that this side as well, getting that all nice and locked in. There we are. Now the hat itself is going to come up and over and dangle down here, and the little poop ball should be right off to the side of his cheek. So I'd say that's what I'm aiming for. So let's go ahead and start about here and head up and over with a nice curve. And if we want to give it just a little bit of a whoop, right there, that sounds good. Let's do that. And then bring it back up this way. This is all looking good. I'm going to go ahead and lock in all of these lines. There we go. Just like so. He's also a big part of DuckTales with his Uncle Scrooge and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. He has been a part of that. Now that's something that goes back to those old comic books. Those are based on those great Carl Barks created comics of the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And Donald was a big part of that. He's also probably, of all the Disney characters, the classic characters, the ones we call the Sensational Six, he is the one that has probably been in the most feature films too, because during the war years, he went as a goodwill ambassador to South America in a couple of films called Saludos Amigos and the Three Caballeros. And by the way, a terrific show happens here at our park called Viva Navidad, where you will see Donald and his friends Panchito and Jose Carioca paying tribute to the Latin American traditions for Christmas. Back at the back end of our park. Find out when Viva Navidad is running today and see it by all means. It's one of the best things to see here at the Disneyland Resort. Okay, I'm done. Are you guys done? Yeah. Okay, then let's have an art show. I'm going to count to 3 and have everybody hold up their drawings of Donald Duck and see how you did. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Show me Donald. Love it. Wonderful job. Still diligently working. I can see it. Looks good though. Great job. Kids did amazing. Great job, everybody. Look at that. I love sketchbooks. People bring their sketchbooks. That shows a devotion to the art. Great job up in the back row. You guys did amazing. Give yourselves a very good round of applause.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe, like, share this video. And we have much more sessions coming to cover all type of animations we're going to do. As well, we have more sessions to look how professionals from Disneyland draw characters and teach us how to do this. Thank you and have a great day.